Don't be afraid to go outside of your comfort zone and tackle something that you would never tackle. Once you get through that, you'll be amazed and surprised how much it has changed your life.
He worked at a place called Howmet in LaPorte, Indiana, and I knew a neighbor that worked at Howmet, and went over and asked my neighbor about Ron, and he said, listen, if that guy's available, you need to get him and put him on your staff.
Ron came on very energetic, ready to work. Takes a different approach than we're used to.
When he first started, I don't think I gave him as many tasks as he would like. He would say, do you have anything else you can put on my plate so that I can work in between this job and this job?
What we do at J.H. Jones Engineering is we support all of the steel warehouse facilities, redesign and modify the equipment. So I was asking for some work, and Dan Sean, he gave me a set of prints, and he said, hey, get some current pricing on these parts. They're wanting to repair this machine called the leveler in the pickle plant.
We had an issue where there was a lot of wear. We've tried to fix it over the years.
And I asked the department manager about the specifics and what was causing that. So I went out to the machine when they were down, and I took a whole bunch of dimensions and I studied it. I wanted to come up with a solution that was going to be simple to install, be effective, and also stop the damage to the equipment. The part that I had in mind, this deflector wear bar, which was a sacrificial piece, only cost $230 for a set. This wear bar would get torn up prior to the machine getting torn up, and then we would just replace those wear bars as needed. So I did the math on it, and I figured even if we had to replace these weekly, it would still be far better to go that route than to spend the money and the time and effort and get the downtime for the machinery.
People were skeptical, didn't really think it was going to work, and it did.
I didn't think they'd be able to stand up to the pressure of the coil pushing against them.
The wear bars that were bolted in place were easily torn off and not easily replaceable. So with the design that I wanted to try out, these deflector wear bars nested in place on the machine. So they were trapped in there and they could not get readily torn off. I presented it to my boss that the wear bars were still holding up even after 4 months. And that's when he shared with me that the company had canceled the potential purchase of a machine which was going to cost the company over $1 million.
Ron has shown some of the younger engineers to kind of look at things from a different perspective, and maybe just because it hasn't been done, it's not necessarily wrong.
I ran into a guy that I knew for the last 30 years.
Ron is a actual close-by neighbor.
I had no idea that Marvin worked here.
He's a happily married man, dedicated father of 3, and just became a grandfather just a few years ago.
Marvin is a real sports guy.
His son was involved with some sports with my son.
Always loved basketball, but didn't really know a lot about the game. Could never shoot very good at all. But I was asked by a coach in elementary school if I wanted to coach my oldest son's 5th grade basketball. This is like the farthest thing from my life that I would ever possibly do. I never was a sports guy. I thought to myself, life is short, why not? How bad could I be? I learned along the way, and I had great time with my son and the other kids, and I'm really glad that I took that challenge. When you go outside your comfort zone, you find out that you got things inside of you that you didn't know existed, and it develops you into a better person.
He is very analytical and very serious when it comes to a driven force inside him to create answers to problems.
Ron is also unique in the fact that he can relate to everyone. He relates to the guys in the shop, discusses issues, doesn't just rush in with a, hey, I want to do it this way. Talks to the operators before he tackles any problems on the equipment.
If you talk to them, you really get a good idea of what's going on and what the problem is. And if you're going to make a design change, you need to include them, management, everybody before you do anything, because we don't know what we don't know, right?
Let me just say, Ron has just been a great pleasure to work with since he's hired in with us, and I hope he spends a lot more years at Steel Warehouse.